Japan enjoyed nearly 20 million tourists in 2016, and the number is only expected to increase with time. This incredible country of innovation, tradition, excellent food and world-leading entertainment has captured the hearts of travelers around the world. It is a country where one can learn and live more modestly and be more organized. Residents are devoted. They pay much attention to cleanliness and are very disciplined. The most fascinating thing about Japan is that regardless of how many times you visit or stay in the country, the feeling that you can explore more from its rich and warm culture never leaves you. Attention to others is at the root of the Japanese culture. Hospitality and customer service form part of the country's DNA. It even has its own word in Japanese, omotenashi, or a focus on hospitality. Hospitality and Growing Japan Company Limited is Japan's first service industry specialized in providing support for businesses all over Japan who strive daily to upgrade the level of service they provide.
では、一緒に声を出してみましょう。
Okay, some of the points to be noted are you have to be very cheerful and bright, and you have to say it with a vigorously and loudly. So when we say that somebody is smiling, the first point is that you are supposed to show your teeth, and also when it comes to their eyes, the corners of their eyes are a little bit lower and down like that. And I would say this is a standard all over the world.
まず下半分隠してみて、目元ですよ。1, 2, 3, happy! Good, excellent. はい、ありがとうございます。このタイミングでいきましょう。いらっしゃいませ。1, 2, 3. もう一度。いらっしゃいませ。1, 2, 3. Like this. とっても上手です。はい。
Its training method, used by an ever-increasing number of businesses, has been highly recommended as practically useful in many fields. If people change in the way they handle clients and non-clients using basic principles of hospitality, the company believes the future can change.
では皆さん一度立ち上がってありがとうございましたで終わります。はい、綺麗なお辞儀、これもお願いします。参ります。ありがとうございました。
ありがとうございました。
1, 2, 3. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Japan is also unequalled by other cities with its diverse sites and activities, from the historical, traditional and spiritual to the ultra-modern architecture, fashion and pop culture. The country has hundreds of exciting towns, making it a diverse and very interesting country to visit, with many different experiences waiting for you to discover. Ask for advice on where to visit first in the capital, and Shibuya is bound to pop up. Home to the world-renowned Shibuya Crossing, here you can realize the sheer size of Tokyo with its towering buildings, packed streets and bustling environment. One of the top places to visit for a shopping trip with its abundance of outlets and department stores is Ginza, one of Tokyo's most chic neighborhoods. Within reach from central Tokyo is the spacious, clean, and the attractive port city of Yokohama, the second largest city in Japan. It is home to the Cup Noodle Museum, a beautiful bay, and plenty of attractive sights. Sometimes called the Entertainment Island, Odaiba is one of Tokyo's most fun districts. It is an artificial island reachable by boat, train, or over the stunning Rainbow Bridge.
Odaiba is a popular island in Japan's Tokyo Bay. This is a place where it was a reclaimed land that was done by the Japanese government when Americans set warships here during 1853, so Japan could open up their country to the world. But the Japanese had to set cannons here to protect their nation and to protect their land. Today, Odaiba is a popular tourist and leisure site where you can see Japan's skyline. As you can see behind me is the Rainbow Bridge, and around this area particularly, you know that in 2020 there will be Tokyo 2020, which is a sporting event, and there will be a triathlon here. Interestingly, you can see the Liberty statue, which is a unique thing in the Americas. But surprisingly, we had to find it also here in Tokyo, Japan.
At first glance, one might think that the world-renowned Statue of Liberty has been moved to Japan, but it's really just a smaller size replica in Odaiba. It stands at roughly 40 feet tall, about 1/7 the size of its New York counterpart, and weighs about 9 tons. It was modeled after the Statue of Liberty in Paris, France. The statue was originally erected temporarily from 1998 to 1999 to pay tribute to Japan's ties with France. Overlooking Tokyo Bay and the Rainbow Bridge, she has held her ground since 2000, when it was returned for good due to its popularity. As if one Statue of Liberty replica was not enough, Japan has at least a couple more scattered in the country, although none are as grand as the New York original. One can take a stroll along the beaches to have a feel of how Japan protected its land from foreign invasion, as well as take a boat ride.
from the globe, right up there from Channel 8, one of the popular television channels here in Odaiba, Tokyo, where it is a popular waterfront tourist destination. The Odaiba illumination is lit bright, and for tourists wanting to explore Japan, this is a popular area where you cannot miss, because there are so many unique malls around, so many eateries around, and you can also have a ride on the automatic train which has no driver.
Japan has developed the aesthetics of food preparation like no other country, with kitchen knives, or what is known in Japan as hocho. They are the most important cooking tool for Japanese chefs, and they pay respect to it as it is regarded as the soul of the cook. According to chefs, it has the power to influence or bring out the taste of food, or sometimes destroy it with poor skill as well as bad maintenance. For this reason, cooks usually take good care of their knife as a treasure and always make the effort to improve their skills.
Each type of knife has only one purpose. So for example, the one you have here, you use it only for fish. So you have a raw fish and you cut the head of the fish and then you make a fish fillet. And then you have another type that you have here, it's a very famous one, it's a yanagiba. That's something that you use only for sashimi. So you have, once you've cut your fish, you make very thin slices. So that's what you use. You need to have something very beautiful because you eat it raw. So you need something very perfect on the cut. So that's why you use this kind of blade. And you see it's quite long. So for example, this one is 33 centimeters. And having something longer makes it easier for you to slice only in one stroke. So you have to have a very beautiful clip, very beautiful slice.
Customers who patronize hocho endeavor to sharpen it. Others also customize the blade to have a personal touch. This helps the chefs celebrate the art of cutting, which makes the preparation of fine fish and delicate vegetables a feast for the eyes. Wondering where to get it? Kappabashi, Mecca of Japan's restaurant supply store. The area is over 100 years old and boasts of over 170 shops devoted to the cooking trade. It is considered one of the world's best in terms of the amount and variety of merchandise available, including bakery equipment, containers, decorative goods, chef's coats, bamboo wares, and much, much more. The name has fussy origins. Some attribute it to the Japanese term kappa, meaning raincoat or river child. Others to a local merchant in the area with the name Kapaya. However, due to the popular mythical creature Kappa or the river child, shops along the stretch have officially adopted the kappa as their mascot. Kappabashi has therefore become an offbeat tourist destination. Nearby is Asakusa, one of Tokyo's leading entertainment districts during the Edo period. The life in the district died when large portions got destroyed in the air raids of World War II. Today, the area has regained its popularity thanks to the opening of the 634-meter Tokyo Sky Tree, the highest recognizable landmark in the city. This major landmark, just 20 minutes across the Sumida River from Asakusa, and the elegance of Sensoji, the most colorful and oldest temple, has restored the vibrancy in the district, attracting tourists the world over.
History has it that two brothers fished a cannon out of the Sumida River that always kept coming to them even when they had returned the cannon, that is the goddess of mercy, into the Sumida River. This brought about the establishment of the Sensoji temple, also known as the Canon Buddhist Temple of Asakusa. And this temple here, when the brothers found the goddess in 628, some years ago, the temple just behind me was completed in 645. And this is a temple that is the oldest temple in Tokyo, Japan, in the Asakusa area. And before you have to enter this temple, you will have to go through the tender gate. But I'll be finding out from my tour guide why the tender gate.
In Japanese, it's called Kaminari-mon. Kaminari means thunder. Mon means gate. And that you see Chinese characters, two Chinese characters, and the upper one means thunder.
The writing means tender, the upper one.
Yeah.
Okay.
And then under one means gate.
Good. Good, but I see two.
And two wooden statues. And then the right one is God of wind. And if you look at the left, that is God of thunder. And then the gate is named after the thunder of God.
But why the tender god when we have two gods here? We have the wind god.
Wind God
And
and
the
the thunder
yes.
God. And they are protecting the temple.
Okay. But what is this whole light made of?
It's made of paper and thin bamboo thread.
According to my tour guide, Fumiko Nina, in spring each year, the base of the 700-kilogram hanging paper lantern serves as a festival point. A quick entry and one is greeted with a 250-meter stretch that leads to the main temple ground.
What is the name of this street and why was it named as such?
All right. It's called Nakamise in Japanese.
Nakamise.
And Naka means inside. Mise means shop. So shops inside the temple grounds.
The shopping street is lined by 89 shops which offer local specialties and a usual array of typical Japanese souvenirs.
Let's talk about why it is so important. The whole Sensoji temple is important to the Japanese way of life.
During New Year days, people come to have a New Year first visit to the temple. And people pray for happiness or
safer, prosperity maybe. Many people who leave other places come here to see this temple. So it's a part of tour. So that's a non-religious side. Sensoji is an exception. There are no graveyard, but instead of a graveyard, Sensoji have. Do you see their 5 pagoda? They have their tablet for memories of deceased. So maybe people come here to pray for the deceased family members.
It is also believed that the ashes and bones of Buddha are preserved at the topmost area where no one is allowed to visit. The Buddhist pagoda is an object of worship and not just an ordinary tower. Nina, my tour guide, indicated that Buddhism is a form of worship borrowed from Asian countries. Hence, the architecture is greatly influenced by the Chinese.
But why the 5 steps?
That represents, in Buddhism, everything is made of 5 factors. And that's earth, fire, and water, and wind, and then heaven. Or air, heaven or air.
The treasure gate is the second most important gate one has to go through.
The temple has 1,400-year history, and during that, the temple get many sutras or other precious documents. So they store those things on
All
that.
the documentation concerning the temple up there.
Up there.
Cleansing is a must for anyone wanting to get into a Buddhist temple or even a shrine in Japan to worship.
Here, visitors will be purified with smoke before entering the main area, the main hall.
So once you don't do it, can you go into the temple?
Not necessarily. But it's better to purify yourself by the smoke before praying. The smoke is believed to have healing power. So people fan the smoke to the troubled area of your body. This is another place where visitors can purify themselves. And this is a purification font. And visitors will clean their hands and rinse their mouths with the water before entering the hall.
Many people believe that the Asakusa Canon deity enshrined here has the ability to bestow benefits on earth. To this end, around 30 million visitors from throughout Japan and abroad visit the temple annually.
We are from a little town in Germany, so we're not used to so many people, and they crossing everywhere, so they don't have a structure to go on the right or the left, they go somewhere, but it's awesome experience, new for us.
It's really interesting because there's a big sandal. They say is the sandal of God, and it's really interesting. There is a street with a lot of places where you can buy souvenirs for your family and friends.
There was like a ceremony of a Buddhist. That was really cool.
Did you get any souvenir you're taking back to Germany?
Some chopsticks and 2 t-shirts for my father and me.
Thank you so very much. Arigato. So finally, my tour guide and I have returned from the Buddhist temple, and I tell you, it's a must-watch place. You know what? There is a fortune-telling paper that it will tell what your future will look like should you put in few coins. And you see right behind me, just as any other religion in Ghana, you would need to put in some offering into that offering bowl, showing gratitude to God for all the things that He has done for you.
This is Aizu Wakamatsu, a predominantly farming community credited for growing one of the best and tastiest rice in northern Japan. Salt was its gold in times past. This path leads to a 52-year-old reconstructed castle, one of the major tourist attractions in the town. This edifice, originally known as Kurukawa, was first constructed in 1384. The castle has over 400 rocks, with some as old as 350 years. It served as a military and administrative center of the Aizu region until 1868, when the place was besieged by forces of a newly formed imperial army during the Bushan War. Enemies tried to forcibly go through this black iron gate known as the Kurugane to attack residents hidden in the castle due to the war, but could not. The government had to demolish the castle in 1874 since it was scarred with weaponry during the siege, making it structurally unstable. A new lord then redesigned the castle and gave it the name Churu Gajo, meaning the Crane Castle. This made the castle gain fame as an impregnable fortress, and the town, Aizu Wakamatsu, retain a strong sense of history as a former castle town.
About 150 years ago, there was a big war called Boshin War in Japan, particularly in this area. And at that time, Aizu Wakamatsu, we were defeated in the war. And at that time, this Tsurugajo castle actually was demolished. But around 1965 and in the middle of the 1960s, the people or the citizens in Aizu Wakamatsu wanted to see this beautiful castle again. So there was a move to rebuild the castle around that time. And thanks to the voice and the desire of the citizens in Aizu Wakamatsu, this Tsurugajo castle was rebuilt. There are a lot of things that the Aizu Wakamatsu is proud of, and there are many attractions. The one thing that I can say first and foremost is that we have 4 distinct seasons. In springtime, people can enjoy cherry blossoms, and in summertime, people can enjoy beautiful greenery, and in autumn, the beautiful changes of the colors, and in winter, the snowy scene. So it's very easy for people to understand the change of seasons. And each season brings beautiful natural scenery. And also we are surrounded by mountains. And this particular climate is very suitable for rice production. And from rice, we can make very tasty sake and fermented miso.
The Crane Castle, or the Churugacho, has been designated as an important cultural and heritage site in northern Japan. The 2.5 carats of diamond-eyed Sheiji Hoko, an imaginary fish-shaped image made of the female, which is the largest, and the male, is believed to resist fire. A quick entry, and one can see signs of a storage base for salt, a one-time precious commodity for the people of Aizu. 150 staircases to climb, one can have a fair view of a museum inside the castle that relives the past.
From this height of the Churugajo Castle, literally meaning the Crane Castle, you can see the beautiful town of Aizuwakamasu, surrounded by mountains. It is a town of 120,000 people. In this castle here, 600,000 people are said to visit this all-important Churugajo Castle every year.
There is also an underground base where one can buy souvenirs. Shinto is ingrained in the living practices of the Japanese people, and it serves as a framework for strong traditions and culture. Shinto has no founder, no holy book, and even the concept of religious conversion. But Shinto values, for example, harmony with nature and virtues such as a sincere heart, or what they call magokoro.
So Shinto does not have a kind of conversion or baptism type of thing. So we do not know when or who are real Shinto followers. But from the side of Shinto shrines, the living people around the shrines are all regarded as followers. And then we are guarding everyone in Japan. So if you ask any Japanese, what is your religion? They may answer they don't have any religions. They do act religious activities, if I can say, by visiting Shinto shrines or by visiting Buddhist temples or celebrating Christian memorial days. So it's really, it might be a bit different from the concept of religions that the monotheistic religions cultures has.
From ancient times, Japanese people have felt an awe and gratitude towards divine spirits, or what they refer to as kami, and dedicated shrines to many of them. This is Meiji Jingo, one of the popular and most visited shrines in Japan, where the practice of Shinto is held high. The shrine was completed and dedicated to Emperor Meiji, the first emperor of modern Japan, and the Empress Shokin.
Shinto shrines are the places for the people to show their gratitude. Farmers, for example, brought their harvest, such as the first ears of rice, to Kami to show their gratitude. Still, today is on the occasion of the harvest festival in November. A lot of various vegetables or crops or products are brought to kami. So we can live now thanks to not only the nature but also to people related to the life, I mean in the community or the countries or the world. I think it is important to feel that we are living as a part of nature or part of the society. So although this shrine is dedicated to the spirits of Emperor Meiji and Empress Shoken, the visitors, most visitors here do not realize what is enshrined. But they feel the connections with nature or many things, and they are so grateful to many things. And we can find, even the foreign visitors show the same kind of feelings, and we can find those words on the votive tablets hung around the camphor tree near main shrine.
After their demise, people wish to commemorate their virtues and to venerate them forever. So, they donated 100,000 trees from all over Japan and from overseas, and they worked voluntarily to create this forest. Thus, thanks to the sincere hearts of the people, this shrine was established on November 1, 1920, 8 years after the passing of the emperor and 6 years after the passing of the empress. In 1945, the original shrine buildings were burnt down in the air raids of the Second World War, but was rebuilt shortly thereafter. The spacious shrine grounds offer walking paths that are great for a relaxing stroll. Meiji Jingu, as the groove of a village shrine, does not only serve as a place where Japanese people validate their own origins, but it also provides a place where foreigners visiting the shrine can obtain a deep understanding of Japanese culture.
This attire dates back about more than 1,000 years ago. The Shinto trainees started from the white attire and white skirt, white hakama in Japanese, the white cotton hakama. And then after the training period, he or she became a Shinto priest, and then he or she wears this light blue hakama. And then after a few years, the color may change to the purple, maybe the white silk with crest. So from the white cotton skirt and to the white silk skirt, the white is of course important meaning, has an important meaning of the purity or cleanliness.
Locals and foreigners are made to purify themselves by rinsing their hands and mouth before entering the inner court. Visitors to the shrine can take part in typical Shinto activities such as giving offerings at the main hall, buying charms and amulets, or writing out one's wish on an ema.
The reason why they have an amulet, I think by having that, they feel relaxed or they feel safe by guarding by many kami or ancestors or families. So some person has an amulet for passing the examinations of, for example, the university or high school. So that amulet has a kind of strong spirit to pass the exams or to support the students to study hard or to calm down to manifest his or her own ability on the exams. So the people has an amulet for feeling relaxed or for feel protected.
On New Year Day, the shrine welcomes over 3 million visitors for the year's first prayers, more than any other shrine or temple in the country. During the rest of the year also, traditional Shinto weddings are held here.
10 million people visit this shrine from Japan and from overseas. And I feel about 5 million visitors are from overseas. Of course, we receive a lot of donations or offerings from the people, but financially speaking, it's not much. But our benefit is receiving the people here. Visiting this shrine or other shrines, people seem to feel refreshed or feel re-energized. That leads more development of Japan or of the world, I think. So I think this is a great benefit of the existence of Shinto shrines.
Meiji Jingo is undoubtedly one of Japan's most popular tourist destinations for those wanting to see and have a feel of what the Japanese believe in. Built around this bridge, Nihonbashi was a major mercantile center during the Edo period. Nihon means Japan and Bashi, bridge. Its early development is largely credited to the Michu family, who based their wholesaling business here and developed Japan's first department store, Michukoshi. Full of old and historical buildings in the past but pulled down, Nihonbashi today has a contemporary look. That notwithstanding, the people did not throw away their culture. The Fukutoko Shrine, an ancient Shinto shrine, was also reconstructed in the business district to afford worshippers some time with their deity.
of business. Because the Nihonbashi has been the town for merchants. Commercial. That's why. This is rice. Okay, this is rice bran. Okay, now they have to close down this.
Nihonbashi is the center of history, culture, and commerce. In the commercial hub also is the Echo Edo Nihonbashi Art Aquarium, started in 2011 to celebrate the 100th anniversary of the bridge at Nihonbashi. The event has since gathered quite a following as a summer event in Tokyo. The exhibition features ornamental goldfish in various ornate bowls, tanks, and ponds with colorful lighting effects. The aquarium boasts of a variety of species, and for those wanting to learn about marine life, it is the place to be. The Sumida River cruise is one sure way to explore Tokyo by boat, while the breathtaking experience won't get you from point A to point B quite as swiftly as the train. The Tokyo Cruise Ship Service, also known as the water bus, is one sure way to travel in style along the Sumida River. With fleets of boats on 7 routes, one can visit at least 12 locations in the Tokyo Bay area. Fares are based on distance and ranges between 200 to 2,000 yen. It's a relaxing and enjoyable way to travel and will give you a view of Tokyo that you simply can't find anywhere else. Japan is one of the countries anyone in the world must visit at least once in a lifetime. Its unique culture, traditions, manners, and picturesque sights attract millions of tourists from all over the world.